Hey, ladies and gentlemen, it's your favorite money man in a hoodie here. All right, I am going to scare you out of using your credit cards forever. I'm going to give you 3 reasons why you should never want to use a credit card again, okay? So hang with me through all 3 of them, and let me know if by the end you're not shocked and terrified by how much people are spending and how helpless people seem. You know, we talk all the time on this series about how a lot of people my age think that they can't get ahead, that the boomers have ruined it for them. It's impossible for the little man to get ahead because of the boomers. And it's not the boomers' fault. I'm going to give you 3 reasons as to why. The first one, people are 83% more likely to spend money using a card than they are cash. Let me rephrase that a little bit so it's a little bit more accurate. They're more likely to spend 83% more than if they were using cash. And this is a credit card or a debit card. It doesn't matter which one. Using a piece of plastic makes you more likely to spend up to 83% more. So let's say at the beginning of the month, you take out $40 from your account and you say, this is my play money to do fun things that I want to do. I don't have to, plan out what it is. If I just want to do something, if I want to go get myself a cup of coffee, or if I want to go out with my buddies to a bar, I'll take this money. And when this money is gone, that's my spending money. That's my play money for the month, and that's it. Okay? So what happens if you stick to that, you only use cash, by the end of the month, you've spent $40. Well, according to these statistics, if you put in your mind, all right, I'm going to spend $40 this month on play money, and then when that money's gone, it's gone. By the end of the month, you're more likely to spend $70 instead of $40, which makes sense when we get to this next number. Are you ready? Got some numbers written down here just to make it a little easier to remember. The average credit card balance, and I'm going to put this source in the description because this is crazy to me. I didn't even believe it was this high. The average credit card balance in the United States is $7,951. That's more than some of you have ever seen in your bank account, and that's the average amount that's on a credit card. That's insane. Now those 2 numbers pairing together seem to make a little bit of sense, right? If you're likely to spend 83% more using a card than you are with using cash, that makes a big deal. That explains where that number comes from. And the last one, that should scare the daylights out of you. You know how much the average credit card interest is in 2023? 28%. Actually, that number might be from 2022. I can't remember which of these studies was from 2022. But if it's from 2022, then that number's gone up. 28%! Let's say that you keep that amount right there, the $7,000, basically $8,000 is a running balance. You pay the minimum payments and whatnot, but you're pretty much like putting the exact same amount that you're paying off back on the card, because that's what a lot of people do. You know how much 28% of $8,000 is, specifically of the $7,951? 28% of that is $2,226. That means if you don't get rid of that money now, you're going to end up paying $2,000 more on that debt than if you had just used cash to begin with, which probably would have been a lower number if you'd used cash instead of using a card. That's a big deal. That's a whole lot of money. And of course, and I can guarantee you that one of my sources is probably going to say this, the same people that will give you these statistics and will tell these things to you in the same article, they'll be like, so we know it's $7,000, $8,000 on the average credit card, and it's 28%, but here's why it's a good thing that you're using your credit card. These are the same people talking. Hello? What's going on here? This is why the credit card industry is filled with so many crooks. This is why we have no faith in the people who are running these credit card companies, because they will tell you the bad news and they'll say, and this is why the bad news is actually good news. This is why it's a good thing that you've got cancer. Stop right there. No. You are not going to tell me that my sickness is a good thing. You're not going to sit here and tell me that my sickness is a good thing, okay? That's the big problem. We're buying into these lies over and over and over that spending money that we don't have and then paying extra money that we're not spending is a good thing. All right? This is why I tell people all the time, the only loan that really makes sense is a mortgage, just because of how high it is, but also because, and here's another thing, here's a bonus fourth reason. Credit cards are not tied to equity. If you have $20,000 on a car loan, and your car, after driving it for a few years, is worth, let's say, $13,000, okay? If you were to turn around and sell that car for the price that it's worth, buy it, and then you use the money that you got with it to buy a cheap car, you can take that leftover money and put it towards that car loan. Knock that sucker down, right? Because the car has equity. Same thing with a house. Houses tend to go up in value. Cars go down in value the longer that you have them, the more that you drive them. But a house, if you're taking care of it, usually goes up in value. Credit cards are tied to nothing. You can't sell a credit card to pay off debt. All right? That's not how it works. You don't have anything tied to this credit card other than your credit score, which just means, hey, I have no problem with owing people money and paying money that I never even spent in the first place. That's the big issue. You're paying $2,000 extra in money that you never spent. You're giving away $2,000 a year. That's ridiculous. You shouldn't have to live that way. You don't have to live that way. That's why I tell people, if you're going to be paying off debts, probably the first one you're going to hit is that credit card, because that thing's going to build and build and build. You follow the debt snowball, of course. Pay off the smallest one first, and the bigger one later, of course. But if the two debts are close enough, for an example from my life, having a credit card payment and a medical payment that were about the same amount of money. The medical payment has 0% interest, and the credit card is like maybe $200 more. Which one do you think I'm paying off first? That's right. I pay off the credit card first, because that interest is going to get crazy. That's an extra $180 a month of money that I didn't spend. I spent the money that created that interest, but I didn't spend the $180 extra a month. And you're wondering where your money's going and why the little man can't get ahead. It's because the little man is spending stupid money because he's using his credit card instead of using cash, meaning that he's spending up to 83% more money, and then he's having to pay extra money for the money that he borrowed in the first place. That's why you should want to destroy your credit card. And if you want to give me the argument to save it, in case of a rainy day, like a big emergency that you just can't cover, all right, so here's what we'll do, okay? Because your credit will not disappear if you stop using your credit card and just pay off debts, okay? You'll still have a credit score if you're paying off debts. So what you're going to do is you're going to take it, you're going to lock it in a box, take the key out, and you're going to give it to somebody and say, I am only allowed to get this key from you if it is an absolute emergency. That is the only situation in which you're allowed to use that key, because obviously you've spent a lot of money. You spent money that you wouldn't have spent if you were using cash, and now you're paying back money that you never spent in the first place. We don't want to live that way. You don't have to live that way. So what we're going to do, we're going to shred up that credit card or lock it away somewhere. We're not going to refill that credit card balance. We're going to pay that sucker off. Any extra money that you get. Baby steps 1 and 2, put $1,000 in the bank as an emergency fund. That's money that you do not touch unless you have an emergency, something that you cannot predict, that you have to take care of. An emergency is not, oh, well, my uncle's in town and he wants to go out to eat. Now, he can eat a bologna sandwich at home with you. If you're paying off serious amounts of debt, you can eat a bologna sandwich at the house with you guys. All right? You need to get serious about getting rid of this debt. And that means you're going to have to make some lifestyle changes. Get rid of that debt. Never bring it back again. Kill it dead. And then you don't have to pay people money that you never spent in the first place. That's what it's going to take to get you free. And then when you are free, I believe there was another article I read that the the average person pays $400 towards credit card debts every month. I don't remember where that one is. I'll have to find that one again. But if you're paying $400 towards your credits every month, well, let's say you go back to using cash. The spending money that you use is only cash. You got grocery money for the month. Let's budget $350 or $400 a month. All right, paycheck comes in. We're going to take that money out of the bank, and we're only going to use that cash money to buy groceries. It's going to make us think a lot more about the things that we're buying, make us ask ourselves, do I really need Rocky Road ice cream this month? And then every penny more than that $1,000, every penny that's not that, you're going to throw it at this credit card debt. You're going to knock it dead, and then you're going to have $400 extra a month. And you'll have better spending habits. You see why this is a beautiful thing? See why I get so excited about helping people learn how to spend their money properly? You then have money. You then have security. But you're not going to have it if you're spending 83% more, and if you're having to pay an extra $2,000 a year that you wouldn't have spent before. Stop paying money that you never spent. Get rid of this debt and live a more free life. Let me know if you guys have any questions and comments. I will see y'all later.